Hey guys, good afternoon, welcome. Hope everyone is doing well. My voice doesn't sound very good, guys, because I've had a terrible week. It's been absolutely awful, but before we get into that, let's get into the chat. Hey Denver, Shani, Neil, welcome back, guys. 116 this week, but super unsure about 36. Well, hopefully we'll sort out that, see how that is. Neil, soon it'll be all over. Neil, how did you do? Did you play your free hit last week? I've seen a lot of good people with some good free hit scores, especially if you like tripled up on United and tripled up on maybe Liverpool players and stuff like that. Watkins and Zaha. Oh no. Well, I can feel you on Zaha, buddy, because I got onto that train with you all day long. Hugely disappointing, but what we'll say is, hey John, how you doing? Hope you are well. Before the chat goes mental for Bruno Greenwood holding out for Foden and Mahrez. CUT plus Dino will reverse Foden and Mahrez back to Bruno and Greenwood. Hey James, welcome back, buddy. Denver, I'm not too sure. I've got my transfers to make and I'll be making them now. I'll just start with awful week. I got my full health report back this week. And it was like reading my obituary. Apparently I failed one of the cancer markers, but I've seen 4 doctors since then and they've all told me that it doesn't mean that you've got cancer and it doesn't mean you have a particular problem. Just get a CT, check it all out. But that's just been absolutely on my mind for the entire week. I had my scan this morning. I'll get my report back on Monday. Then got told I've got pre-diabetes. I've got told that I went today to check my stomach because I often have like gastroenteritis and problems with like that, and I know 2/3 of the world apparently have this kind of bacteria. So he was like, I know you have this problem, we could do the medicine, or next week do endoscopy. I was like, I don't want to wait a whole week with this on my mind either. So eventually he's just like, do you want to do it now? So I was like, oh okay. So if you don't know what endoscopy is, it's when they take the camera and they literally throw it into, well, they don't throw it, they put it into your down your throat and into your stomach and stuff like that. So that's so. And today, since last Thursday, I've woke up with a shooting pain. I have gout as well. I'm an absolute walking nightmare. But something in my heel gave away last Thursday. Woke up last Saturday in agony. They gave me some anti-inflammatory and stuff. Got to Tuesday, pain shot back, went to the hospital this time and they checked it and they just gave me some more medicine. And again, I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning with this pain, and my pain clinic doctor was like, right, that's it. And he gets the needle and he puts it in. He's pointing around, poking. Oh, is this where it hurts? Is this the place? It's like, it aches all the time, like my ankle below my heel, like my Achilles heel. But if I move, it's a real sharp pain. Couldn't even walk this morning. So he's poking around. He's like, okay. And I didn't know that they could do this. So he gets the needle and he puts it in. And it's like, is it here? And I'm like, not quite. And like, they move the needle around to find the pain point until they find it. So obviously I've got a needle stuck in one side of my foot as it's going around trying to find the place, and they find it and then he injects it, takes it out, turns me over for the other side of the foot, digs the needle in, looking around. That one took ages, blood was streaming down it, taking ages, and then boom, found it and put it in. So absolutely awful week. I've been absolutely terrified about that cancer screening failure, but every doctor has told me, honestly, it is fine. No family history, far too young to have stuff like lung cancer and stuff. So hopefully that'll be all right on Monday, but that has been massively all over my mind. So the good thing is we have FPL to share, and we have FPL to take our mind off it as well. My endoscopy went fine, by the way. I've got GERD and some stomach ulcers. I'm 30 and I have a body of a 70-year-old. It's ridiculous. But a huge eye-opener for the fact that the modern way of living, the modern sort of quick lifestyle it'll get you, it'll catch you up. So have this as your warning, guys. If you've been putting off that walking after your food, or putting off the exercise, or you said you're going to quit smoking or quit drinking but haven't quite done it yet, honestly, when you get a report that almost says you are, that this could be too late, it's real eye opener. It's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I'm 30. Anyway, let's go back onto some more joyful things. 150 this week, 92 to 54 for James. Fantastic score. Free hit for Neil was 125, so just in front of me, which your original team was nowhere near even this. Yeah, it feels like it was a real good hit for free hitters. That's mad risky. You're getting like minus 12 this week and then minus 4 next. Oh, you know about Denver's moves? Yep, you literally need to score just break even. Yep. We better get your questions out, man, over here next. I know, that's what I mean. It felt like, I don't even know what it felt like I was reading. The things, honestly, Neil, yeah, of course, have been putting me down, but fortunately, great friends, co-workers, family and stuff, so they've been really helping me out. But all the other key tests are fine, and things like pre-diabetes and gout I can control and stuff, so it's fine. But definitely don't wait until it's almost too late, basically, because I'm in a fortunate position where I can pay for like a full health check every year, and it stacks up year on year, so we can compare and stuff. Like, I don't know how many people in England or whatever have the opportunity to just go and have a full test. You know, sometimes you only really go to the doctor or go get a health check when you have a problem, and that can be too late, right? So definitely do all that you can. I actually did something last week online, which I haven't done a lot of this season, and I kept clipping little bits of the stuff because I realized sometimes when I talk about FPL and I've got some hopefully good advice and some good suggestions, I don't really tell anyone about it. It's just us guys in the chat. So when I mentioned Bielsa possibly doing a masterclass on Ryan Mason, Spurs lost to a Bielsa masterclass. I said, who was it? I said I do not trust Leicester. I said I don't trust Leicester anymore. I know they went to United and won, but in that initial game, it wasn't great. They got smashed by Newcastle. And the key thing I said last week to everyone is aggressive. On the double-triple game week, it felt like I noticed in the other big blank, and was it game week 18, game week 19, that those people who took the hits, took the shots, took the chances, went on and got rewarded. And it feels like it was the same. So I said, this time I am going to be aggressive. So you guys can see I got 134. You know, I took a minus 12. So 122 is still a fantastic score. And I've still left up those transfers up in the corner of the ones that I've made. So Cody, I think it was 1 point for Godfrey, because he is an absolute god. What an assist, by the way, for when I was talking to, I wasn't watching the game at the time, and my friend who's the Everton fan, he said, DCL goal. I was like, oh wow, amazing, that's incredible. Who got the assist? He said Godfrey. And at that point I thought he was winding me up because he knew that I got Godfrey and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So when that actually came to pass, I was like, oh my day. 12 points in that first game. Double clean sheet. So the likes people who went out there got Luca Dean or not Holgate, right? Because he didn't start that first one. That's why for Godfrey, it felt like he was the most nailed on. What can I say? 18 points. Bowen got 1, JWP Zaha, that's 4 and 4. Jota got 10 because obviously he scored. So that was a move I didn't have to make. If I'd have kept Diogo Jota, then, you know, I would have had 6 more points. Son got 7. And Kane got 2, DCL got 11, and Bruno got 19. And then remember that I would have captained Salah for 26, so 13 to 26, but instead I got Bruno 19 to 38. And I said the same things to you last time and all the other times. You guys know that I either have Bruno and I'll captain him, or I won't have him at all, because for me, it's all or nothing with him. And I sat here and I said last week, I'm going to choose Bruno because I think that he is going to get the most points. I did also say that if I didn't get Greenwood and I was going to get, Fernandes, if I wasn't going to get Fernandes, then I would have got Greenwood and I would have captained Salah. So I still would have taken the -4 hit. Hey Ali, welcome back, buddy. So overall, guys, it's a big point swing, and I did sit here last week and I said, the double game week and the triple game week rewarded people last time who were aggressive, and I think it's safe to say that it pretty much did this time. So a big score, 134 minus 12, a 12-point hit, still giving me 122 points. And if I hadn't have done that, I figured it out. I think I'm 30 or 40 points ahead just because of that minus 12. Hey, Matt, welcome back, buddy. You got Bruno and Captain... Oh, and Captain Bowen. Captain Bowen's green would have been brown bread if you hadn't. Exactly. And you went for it, and it was the aggression. And I even said last week that my minus 12 is more like a minus 16 because I've got to do a minus 4 now. Which brings me on to what am I going to do for this game week? My defense is sorted. My only possible transfer might be James to Kufal. But you can see I've got Bruno, and I said if I don't have him, I don't captain him. There's 2 games left for United, right? I don't think he plays both. I think he maybe plays one. He maybe plays 1.5. But you have to remember that it's Wednesday the 19th. So in 5 days, it's still only 5 days away from Manchester United, and they've just done like 4 games in a week. 5 days, and he played like 90 minutes against Liverpool, right? So why would I keep Bruno when he might not play Wolves, or he might play Wolves, but then he won't play Fulham? You know, he's only going to do one of them. When is the Europa League final? The Europa League final is the 27th, which is 4 days. So you've got 5 days now until May 19th, Wednesday. They've got Fulham. Then there's 4 days rest, Wolves, and then 4 days European final. So I think for me, Bruno's going to go. The idea I initially said to you guys, it was going to be Bruno out, Son in, and then Vardy out, Kane in. But here's where my stickler is, guys. Here's where I've got a little bit of a problem with that. And I always say, choose the players who you think is going to score the most points. And I still completely stand by that. I'll always say, it doesn't matter about ownership. Don't worry about ownership. Choose the players who you think will score the most points. Now, Bruno out and Son in, and Vardy out and Kane in is not a bad transfer for a minus 4. It's not, right? I'm taking out players that aren't going to play. It gives me 11 players. But they've got Wolves, Villa and Leicester, which I think are good fixtures for Spurs. But here is the issue as to why I'm leaning towards more something like Son and Antonio. Now, yes, we're all scared of Antonio's hamstrings. Who isn't? But here's my reason as to why I don't think I'm going to go Son and Kane. First, Son for me over Kane. Most of this season I've chosen Son over Kane. He's in form. 7, 12, 10. He's in form. Kane isn't. Kane is he's blanked in the last 2, has he? Dropping a bit deeper. So 13, 2, 12, didn't play 2, 2. Still coming back from injury. But I'm also tempted to not even bother with Spurs this week, bringing in Antonio, take out Iniacho, and go ahead and bring in the man from the stream picture, Richarlison. Now, for Richarlison, in terms of goal threat, of all the strikers, he's 4th. You've got Iniacho. Then you've got, for goal attempts, you've got Iniacho. You've got Benteke. You've got Wood. Then you've got Richarlison. Then you've got Kane, Vardy, Calvert-Lewin. And I've said before, I like doubling up. If I have the double West Ham attack, who've still got it all to play for, with 3 really good fixtures, and then I've got double Everton attack, where they've got Sheffield United and Wolves in the next 2, but not a lot to play for, I might be tempted by that. A key honest reason, not just not getting Kane in because of, I don't necessarily think he's going to get the most amount of points, but bringing in Son and Kane, who have like 40-something% ownership each, right? So if I bring in Son with 45% ownership and I bring Kane with 44% ownership, there are 3 game weeks left, and it kind of feels like if this is my shot to get inside the top 100k, which is my goal since I was 4.5 million in game week 8 or 9, I don't think Kane and Son's going to do it. I have been tempted by Ings and have the Ward-Prowse Ings double up, but Fulham, Leeds and West Ham isn't fantastic, but that's my thinking at the minute. I will be making a -4. I will be making 2 transfers. It's likely going to be Fernandes out and Vardy out because they're not playing. I don't really want the Leicester boys anymore anyway, and they're all blanking. I don't think I'm going to take a -8 because I can already field 11, so there's no point in taking a -8 to bench someone I already have. I'm happy with anyone who starts. That includes Zaha. But my only question is, do I take out both Leicester boys and go Kane and Antonio, maybe? But then I've got Bruno for Fulham, and then I transfer him out for last game of the season. Or do I just go Son and Kane? Or do I bring Son in for Fernandes and go Antonio up front? Or do I go real left wing and, bring in Richarlison up front to go alongside Calvert-Lewin, or just go nuts? And now this was my genuinely idea, guys. It was going to be Antonio or Kane in for Vardy, and it was going to be Mane. Mane was going to be the man for me. He's 5.8% owned, and Liverpool have got West Brom, Burnley and Palace. But I don't know if you guys saw after the United game, he was supposed to play against Manchester United, and then the day before, Jota got put in. And Klopp said in the quick discussion about this, he usually tells a player why they've dropped him or why they've changed the system or whatever. He usually tells them. But at the final whistle, he got 16 minutes, I think. So he got 16 minutes against Manchester United. Now, they've won 4-2 at Old Trafford to basically put the top 4 into their own hands. And at the final whistle, when Klopp comes onto the pitch and does all of his fist pumps and gives them all high fives and gives them a little bit of a cuddle, Mane flicks him off and throws down like a tape, right? It was going to be Mane. Because I was going to be Mane and Kane to cover that Spurs ownership, right? Because I'm trying to get top 100k. If I bring in 2 players, 40-50% ownership, even if they both do well, I think this has to be where I have to be a bit brave. But the fact that if it had been benched and came on yesterday, I'd have loved it even more, because I'd been like, well, Mane's nailed for the next game. He's just been rested, right? But the fact that he's just slapped him away, you've just won 4-2 at Old Trafford. It's disrespectful to the manager. It's selfish because you're not thinking about the club. The fact that you've just won against one of your biggest rivals. You've got, I think it's Chelsea and Leicester, which means that Liverpool could still get top 4. You've got this huge win without you. Was it 4-1 when he came on? I can't remember what's going on. Well, they were winning anyway. They were definitely ahead. They were in control. And they've done it without you. And then you go and react like that? So that is the reason why I'm looking at a Son Kane or maybe a Son Antonio move. It's just because how can I need 11 players. Son will play 90 minutes. Kane will play 90 minutes. Antonio, if he's healthy, will play 90 minutes. I don't even know if Mane's going to start the rest of this season. Be interested to see what you guys think, or if you guys saw that incident, because he was going to be my ace in the hole. The fixtures, lovely. West Brom, that's why even Firmino is now in my mind, because I like these fixtures so much, and Liverpool have got everything to play for now. They're certainly not a beach team. That Firmino was in my plans. Really, really disappointed in Mane. He's been such a rock solid guy for Liverpool, Mr. Reliable. He's had a bad season. He came out himself and said in a quote about he's had health checks. Something's not right with him. He doesn't feel right. He's had a terrible season. He wants to put him back. He's disappointed in himself. But then he goes and reacts like that when he gets dropped. Kind of rightly dropped. I was so looking forward to having a Salamani double up. I'm still possibly going to take the punt. 5.8% ownership, 3 huge games for Liverpool, and 3 good games. First, at Anfield have been terrible, right? 2 away games, and then Palace at home. Let me catch up with the chat, see what's going down. Still only got 100 and dropped 50k places, though. That's not too bad. Hey, Glenn. Bro. Neil, you think Bruno plays Fulham, not Wolves? And again, Neil, and this is why I'm thinking of taking Bruno out. You guys know my like current philosophy on like Bruno Fernandes. If you've got him, I think you've got to captain him. Or don't have him at all, because his points. There's that many people that auto captain him, like the dead teams and stuff, that having him and not captained him. For me, you just double down. They do have the league spot secured, though. And again, that's another thing with United, right? They've got top 4 and they've got a European Cup final to go and do. Why risk it? They're done. They've got second. Didn't take it, just took out Jailings for Greenwood. Not bad. Definitely not bad at all. 3 days after Wolves. Yeah. And then you got Fulham and then Wolves. It's all in a week. I think Bruno's done. He's out. If I'm not captaining, I'm not keeping him. You really want DLCL this week? You may punt on Foden. So we did mention this earlier about Man City players. I think it was Denver that talked about Man City players. I'm not touching him. I'm just not. If you just look at like Raheem Sterling here, he's 27 minutes, 0-0, 27-90, 0-90, 90. I am tempted to bring in Sergio Aguero for Gameweek 38. But here's the other thing, guys. They've got a Champions League final. And Chelsea and Tuchel has beaten Guardiola twice this season. They've beaten him in World Cup final and they beat him at Man City. They beat him at the Etihad. I'm not touching Man City. How many minutes has Gundogan played in the league? 0-0, 32, 90, 0, 19. Taking a punt on players is fine. Taking a punt on players that you don't even know are going to play. Look at Mahrez. 60, 0, 78, 0, 89, 0, 0. Why am I going to risk it? Well, especially in a week where people might not even be scraping together 11. Doesn't seem like it's the right move. Your score was 142, including the -8. What a score. Got rid of Cody, Son, Kane, and another brought in Bruno, Greenwood, Shaw. Think of a -8 for Dallas, Kane, and Gundo. Thoughts? So James, sorry, no. Yes for Dallas, yes for Kane, no for Gundogan. If you've not got 11 players, maybe think about someone else or don't have 11 players. Rashford, Saka, and Vardy out for Ings, Mane, and Rafinha from -8. Rafinha not 100% fit yet, so I wouldn't do that. I like the Ings shout. I personally said that he's in my thoughts as well. And he's fighting to get into the Euro squad for England. He comes back in bags of brace, that's fine, but I personally don't rely that much on Southampton. Mane, I've already told you, Mane is the one for me. And Ali, it depends how many players you've got. I mean, if you've got 6 players and you're trying to bring in some from -8, I get it. But if you can field 11, I'd stick to 11. Martinez, Saiss, Konza, Luka Dean, Byrne, Holding, Pereira, Salah, Lingard, Bruno, Greenwood, DCL, Nacho. Don't know what transfers to do. 1 million in the bank. Then John, I would do the Bruno one then. If you're not going to captain him, take him out. Play Greenwood the last 2 game weeks, whatever, and just have fun with that last slot, because you could buy probably anyone for that Bruno money. The only thing about Everton for you is City on last day of the season. Yep, I mean, and I've tripled up on Everton before and they've let me down. But here's the thing. Last game of the season against Man City, who are Man City going to play? They've got a Champions League final. That is the pinnacle. Man City want that champion. It's the one thing missing from Manchester City is the fans. No, I'm joking. It is the UEFA Champions League. It's the one that Pep needs to say, I have been successful at this football club. Like, I've done it. I've won the Champions League here. I've won the Champions League here. It's been years since he's won the Champions League. He's had the money. He's had the backing. He's got the Premier League sewn up. Everton against City again in the last game of the season, yes, is scary. I'm happy to go in with just Calvert-Lewin and Godfrey. Godfrey will probably be on bench. But if I've got Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin against Man City, you really think he's going to put his strongest team out before the biggest game in the club's history? I can't see it. I think that would be really bad management. I want to have a look at how many days there are between those games. Because, yeah, maybe if there's a week and a half or something, he wants them to be match sharp. I completely understand. May 30th. Okay? May 30th. It's a week. So possibly, yeah. But could you imagine? So Kevin De Bruyne, for example. Kevin De Bruyne is still got a knock. He's still not 100% fit. Could you imagine bringing Kevin De Bruyne back, playing him, say it gets to 80 minutes and almost getting towards 90 minutes, and he does his hamstring before the Champions League final? I just couldn't risk. Would you risk it if you were the manager? How many do you think Everton put past Sheffield United? Well, this is why I'm debating bringing Richarlison in. If I'm honest, the problem with Everton, and they show it, and it's the reason why I was iffy about even Calvert-Lewin anyway, is when did they ever score more than 3 goals in a game? They did 3-3 at Manchester United away in game week 23. It's the goal scoring. Like people like Luca Dean, I think are fantastic. Calvert-Lewin, I think, is the main man. If anyone was going to score in that Villa game, it was going to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But against Sheffield United, you got to target him. You got to target him. Which is why I'm thinking I could do Kane and Richarlison. Or I could do Antonio and Richarlison and next week take Bruno out and see what happens with Mane. But Mane's got West Brom away. If you have a look, guys, there's only a week left. The 16th, 4 days, and then 3 days. That's it. This is it. 3 games in like a week. It's a difficult transfer move to make. It really, really is. I'm really attracted. I understand that Brighton have got some good squad depth, but they don't have the captain. They don't have Veltman. And you've got West Ham, who are still dreaming of top 4, who then go on to play West Brom and Southampton. It's hard to look past Antonio. And I think if I'm feeling brave, I think Mane Antonio is fantastic. If I'm feeling crazy and do a -8, Mane Antonio, Mane in for Fernandez, Antonio in for Iheanacho, and who else was it? Richarlison in for Vardy, and just go nuts for the end of the season. You like the West Ham whilst they are chasing. Yeah, and again, not on the beach, everything to play for. Are you back to owning both Spurs, so your hands are tied? You think Vardy out this week, but you think Antonio over DCL? Dangerous shout there. What about if you take Vardy out and Nacho out and Bamford in it? Now, Bamford is another interesting one. Bamford is great. Leeds, I've got double up. I've got Meslier and I've got Dallas. I've already got 2. Yes, Burnley away is a difficult fixture. Southampton away isn't easy, and then West Brom is fine. But for me, Bamford could miss out a little bit. I think he'll still play. Yes, is a great shot, a great shout. He has been fantastic this season, but he's got 2 goals in 6 games. And again, if I'm saying about Harry Kane, he's 44% owned. Bamford's 40% owned. So what's the point in me bringing him in? For me, it's now I might as well just go Mane and Antonio or Mane and Richarlison and just throw the dice, because right now I'm at my season high, like 160k. If I'm bringing in 40-50%, now again, I always say bring in or captain the player that you think will score the most points. But it gets to a point where you have to take the gamble, you have to take the risk, and I will not get. If I bring in Son and Kane, I will not get into the top 100k, because if they do really well, there's 40-50% of the game that will do really well. If I can bring in 2 players that will do better than Kane and Son, that get more points, it's all about points, right? At the end of the day, if I can bring in 2 players that get more points than those 2, I will be getting more points than 40-50% of the game. Trent or DCL from -4, got 10 play in this game week. That's difficult. That's really difficult. I mean, Trent has looked phenomenal against a West Brom who are worst at home, or Dominic Calvert. I'd have to say Trent. Form, likelihood of a clean sheet, and Everton do have a tendency to let people down. Mane left Klopp hanging. Yep, going back to what I said earlier. That's really annoyed. Not even in FPL wise. I'm genuinely disappointed in Mane for doing that. You've got 9 playing. Same as me, which is why I'm doing 2. Could do with 3 transfers, which give you a sub strength there. I won't have a sub, James. I'm not going to take a -4 just to have someone sat on my bench. If we have a look at who I am playing, because yeah, very funny, haha, I've got Zaha, but at the end of the day, he's got Villa at home. He could do something. I'm not going to take a hit just so I put Zaha on my bench. I think that'd be silly. Edwards should sell Mane if they're 100% enough. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people think about selling Mane. I think there's some disrespect there. Hey Chris, welcome back, buddy. Hope I was on -12 for you this week, but looking at it at -6. Yeah. And that's the other thing, guys, right? If you're taking hits on players that aren't playing, this is why I say just get 11. If you've got 9 and you need to take a -4, don't see it as like or -8 or whatever. It's less because those players aren't going to hurt you because those players are blanking. Sorry for a boring goalkeeper, but no boring questions here, Michael. Is it worth a hit to get a playing goalkeeper? No, I would just take the punt on Forster. I have been saying about being aggressive and stuff. I mean, who would you bring in that feels like it's a definite clean sheet? I was going to say Edison, but I'm scared Edison might get subbed out. Burnley Leeds could be anything. I say that every game week. Southampton Fulham. You've got Forster. Pray that he plays, maybe. Brighton West Ham. No definite clean sheet. There's no definite clean sheets for me, except Liverpool West Brom. But I don't think you're going to go ahead and get Alisson in, right? So, and one of my best game weeks, guys, I didn't have a goalkeeper. Which was the week where I didn't have a goalkeeper play. Well, Leno there got 0. That was a nightmare. It was this one. 87 points from 10 players. Didn't have a goalkeeper. And it was a week where Patricio, Mendy, Sanchez, Schmeichel got clean sheets. And I still got 87. So I probably wouldn't take a hit. Unless you were not wanting to play Mendy for the rest of the season, then take the hit. Like if there's a goalkeeper that jumps out, like I've got Meslier, I got him a few weeks ago, then yeah, take it. Aguero won't start Champions League, so surely has a send-off in 38. Again, I hate those words. Surely, probably, possibly, perhaps. If that is in the conversation, no. I agree. I think Aguero plays in game week 38 and not in the Champions League final. Am I going to risk bringing in a player that scored, 1 goal all season and 1 assist or something? No. Hey, Tiger. Thoughts of changing Cody with another defender, please? Anyone else? All right, I'd say Kufal. Kufal at West Ham. Or Shufal. Or Kufel, or however you want to say it. Which goalkeeper to get for the run-ins? Have you got Mendy, Forster? Oh, it's the same question. I don't think Forster will play either. You can see he's on my bench. I'd say Fabianski at West Ham. But they've been conceding goals. I like Meslier. You can see I brought him in a few weeks ago. Liverpool's got the best defensive fixtures, right? But I'm not going to suggest going and getting Alisson. I could even suggest getting Edison. If Edison plays all 3 games, maybe take a punt there. Mahrez, Son, or Foden. None of them, Aswin. None of them. Don't like them. And it's my brother-in-law, Kiefer. You concede defeat to me, oh mighty leader. He was laughing. He was like 100 points in front of me early season. I said, "Oh, let's have a bet. You know, loser has to take out the other wife and family for meals and drinks. And you are, come on. I was like, all right, then let's do it. I think I'm about 100 points in front of you now, Kiefer. Delicious. Hey John, welcome buddy. Iniacho and Cody to Bamford, Antonio / Kufal. I like it. Bruno and Cody to Son and Dallas. Good moves. Iniacho and Leno to Bamford, Antonio, Meslier. Less number 3. Just Bit boring, that one. Inacho and Bruno to Bamford, Antonio and Shaw. Oh, and Son, sorry. No. Shaw and Inacho to Bamford, Antonio and Dallas. John, it comes back to what I've been saying earlier about who are you going to... what is your end goal? Are you in a place where you're trying to attack like me? I'm really trying to get into the top 100k, or are you all right with solidity? Because you're naming, and I've talked about this earlier if you were in the chat, but bringing in someone Bamford 40+% owned, bringing in someone like Son plus 40% owned. For me, you take the gamble or you don't. Now Antonio is what, 6%? All right, so John, if you're looking to hold or maybe slightly improve, then I would go for who you think. Always say this, guys, go for who you think will get the most points, right? But if you want Bruno back, if you think Bruno's going to be our captain or something for the next 2 games, don't take him out. He's high owned. So if Bruno does something, you take him out, that 11k will drop. Son is a good option for that. Bring Son in, he'll cover rank. It depends on what you want to attack. I think Dallas is just a great choice. He's obviously a centre midfielder who's got Burnley, Southampton and West Brom in the last 3. I can't not say Cody to Dallas is an absolute... I know it's going to come back and bite me now I've said it, but that is like an obvious transfer to make, right? Or even Cody to Kufal, which I really like as well. Both that transfer for me is a shoo-in. Now you got to ask yourself, do you want to go... do you want to take out Bruno to go to maybe Son, or do you want to take Iheanacho to Bamford? Iheanacho to Bamford or Antonio I think is a good move as well. So I'm probably leaning towards your number 1 because Bruno will come back in for you next week and cover your rank. If you want to go for that top 5k, get Bruno out, bring someone lower owned in, and bring in someone like Antonio because their ownership is a lot lower than Bamford's. Take care, James. Oh, thank you, mate. I hope so too. Have 11 players, no bench, free transferred. Who would you ditch Zaha for? I love that. Not like who in my 11 would you transfer out. Is I have 11 playing players. Zaha is leaving. Who should he go to? You've got Son, Lingard, Bruno, Greenwood. I don't know what formation you're going to play. Well, obviously Bruno and Greenwood. So you want to take Zaha out. So if the thing is, and I've just said I've got Zaha, he'll play West Ham at home, Villa at home, it's not the worst. If you swap, are you going to play a 4-3-3? Feels like a waste. 1 transfer, you're in the top 22k, Fernandez to Son or Iheanacho. If you want to cover rank, I'd go Fernandez to Son, but bear in mind you won't have him back. Antonio is a better risk than Bamford. His heat map looks better over the last 5 games and stuff like that, but Bamford will cover your rank as well. So it depends how attacking do you want to be. If you get rid of Fernandez now, you won't have him back for the rest of the season, which I think is fine, because I don't think he plays both games anyway. Son will probably do 90 minutes all 3 matches. So I like both of those moves, to be honest. I like Iheanacho to Antonio, and I like Fernandez to Son, because they're literally the 2 transfers I'm considering making. Ings, DCL, Antonio, or Bamford to replace Vardy and Iheanacho, you need to. Ali, yep, I'm in the same position as you, mate. The real same position as you. Do I take out... Mane has really wound me up. We're doing the moves now, Chris. So some of you guys are doing the same. Thanks, Jizzy. Some of you guys are doing the same, right? So I can either take 2 players out and I stick as a 3-4-3. So let's say Antonio and Bamford for Vardy and Iheanacho, or Kane and Antonio, or Richarlison and this. I'd have a 3-4-3, and then next game week, I keep Bruno. But I hate, you guys know my mantra about Bruno. If I've got Bruno, what is the point? What is the genuine point of having a 53.3% owned player with such high captaincy every week sat in your team, not as your captain? There isn't one. That's why I've doubled down. I've had him for this game week because I captained him, but I've not had him for weeks before. Playing a 5-man midfield, just hate being in the Zaha trap. Your one resolution for next season, never break. Don't have that, mate. Don't have that. Honestly, one of the worst things you can do, take care, Chris. One of the worst things you can do is to say, I will never have that player because you'll miss out. Look at Calvert-Lewin. How many people started the season with Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Oh, he wastes chances. Oh, he's never going to do. I'm not having Calvert-Lewin near my side. Not even close. What did he start the season as? Can we figure out what his ownership was at the start of the season? I don't know, but it was low. I had him at the start of the season. 8, 17, 6, 6, 6, 6, 1, 8, 5, 13, 2, 6, 5, 5, 4. Never, never say never. That's what I say. Because it's foolish. Look at his stats, look at his numbers. Zaha is a massive trap. He's huge. Of course he is. We know he is. But I've had him before where I got him early. I think it was Burnley last season. And I got him in for a run-in, but I said I'll get him in now for the games Palace have got. He did nothing over those games, but then he played against Burnley and got like 12 points. Don't get a player. Because look at Sterling, for example. This year, Sterling has been poor. To be honest, apart from the defence, and maybe you can argue Gundogan, Man City's FPL assets haven't been good. Have they? You got Diaz, right? And the defenders. Edison's third. So you've had Edison all season. Good. Diaz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's the 6th best defender. Sterling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is surprisingly 6th. And then you got Gundogan at 8. Kevin De Bruyne isn't even on the list. No strikers. Never say you don't bring in a player just because of one season. He was 6.5 million striker at the start of the season, if you remember. Yeah, I think he's going up about $1 million. But I was trying to find his ownership at the start of the season. Pretty sure it was incredibly low. But again, the season before, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he can't finish. Bamford is an absolute prime example. Bamford's been in the Premier League with, was it Middlesbrough? Even last season in the Championship, people was like, he's such a waster. So many chances here. Yeah, he misses chances. Yeah, he does. But he's got, 10 goals and 10 assists? Or 15 goals? What's he got? 15 goals and 10 assists. 15 goals and 10 assists is absolutely nuts. He's got 2 more goals than Jamie Vardy. He's got 4 more assists, but 1 fewer goal than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's mental. You got Mendy, Sanchez comes in, Azpilicueta, Dallas, Saiz, Castagna, Reguilon, Sigurdsson, Jota, Bruno, Lingard, Pereira, Iñárritu, Kane and Watkins. You got 2 free transfers. What should you do? Well, remember Watkins will play. Hey, thanks, Krista. Watkins will play. I wouldn't get rid of him. Jota, I got rid of him because I didn't know if he was going to play or not. Sigurdsson's got Sheffield United. I keep hold. Is that West Brom's Pereira? I wouldn't be quick to get rid of him. All right. Who's going to play at your back? Leicester don't play. Reguilon, Dallas, Aspila, Chelsea don't play. You need a defender. I would take out Saiz, maybe for Kufal. And take out Bruno and bring in someone. Salah. Yeah, that's what I would do. If you do Antonio and Ings in for Vardy and actually got 11 players, but you have Bowen and Saiz, which are doubts. Yeah. I had Bowen and took him out because he lost his place. You don't think Saiz will get any points, Captain and Kane? We'll talk about has in a minute. I'm still thinking about my transfers now. Top 5 players for this week. Salah, DCL. Who else is essential? Well, I'm tempted by Antonio. I'm tempted by Richarlison. Trent Alexander-Arnold. You've got a defender who conceded 4 goals yesterday and walked away with 9 points because he got 2 assists. 9, 7, 2, 8, 11, 12, 9 in his previous games. He's got West Brom away from home, who are relegated and who are terrible at the Hawthorns. So if we're sneaking in now to the captaincy picks, at the minute I've got Mo Salah, I'm hugely tempted to go Trent Alexander-Arnold. If he gets an assist and a clean sheet, Salah's got to go and get a 1 or 2, like a goal and assist and bonus to beat him. But he won't get the bonus, Trent would, in a clean sheet. I just hate relying on clean sheets, and I hate relying on Liverpool clean sheets because they concede too many bloody goals. Should you keep Cody or going for another defender? Get rid of Cody. Dallas is fantastic. Kufal is fantastic options. But yeah, he's right. I think Matt's question is directed at players to bring in and target, not just for this week as well. Yeah, Matt's just typed himself. It doesn't mean like we joke around with quote unquote essential. Obviously, we're talking about high quality chance players. So yeah, I can sit here with. I can go 3-5-2 or 3-4-3. I'm so because just West Brom away for Mane. Burnley away is not easy. Then Palace at home. I could go 4-4-2. I could get rid of James for Kufal. Could get rid of Vardy for someone. I just don't like the idea of going back into that hole of Kane and Son. Taking out, a 19% owned player and a 50% owned player to bring in 2 40% owned players. If I do one of them, if I do Fernandes to Son and then take a risk on the other one, then I'll feel a little bit happier. I'll feel a little bit better about that. Right? But if I just go and do Son and Kane, it's just going to be like, I'm not going to get top 100k. I'm 30 points off. Now, if Kane and Son come out there and they do absolute bits, 20 points apiece, Southampton early season-esque performance, then I wouldn't get top 100k anyway, because 40% of the game have them. Any midfielders for 7.3 or under? I think Zaha is, mate. Ward-Prowse is cheap, 5.8. 7.3 or under. Well, you got to look at the teams as well, right? Tough to say. Some people might shout Gundogan or Foden as a punt. I wouldn't. Rafinha's not that quite there with his fitness. Lingard, if you've not got Lingard. Grealish, I think Grealish is not. But I mean, he's just came on as sub. I couldn't tell you a 7.3 million. Oh, I think Sigurdsson is just over. Sigurdsson 6.9 if you fancy a real punt. You thought about Vardy things? Yeah, I said that earlier. I do like Southampton's last 3 fixtures. He wants to go to the Euros. He came back and got a brace, which is obviously fantastic from him. And he is the outsider that I'm looking for, 6.8%. If I do, that feels like I'm tempting fate though, with injuries, right? If I bring in Ings who gets injured and I bring in Antonio who gets injured, I'm asking for it. I'm absolutely asking for it. Which United asset for the next game in front of the fans? None. I'm not recommending United players because they've got the second place wrapped up and they've got a European final to think about, and they've just had 4 games in like 7 days. That's why you want to bring Foden and Mahrez, big differential, huge potential, huge differentials. But you honestly, Denver, with the amount of people that might not even have 11 players or the amount of hits people will take, it'll annoy you more. I think you bring them in and they don't play, then you didn't bring those players in and they do well. Like if you bring in Mahrez and he comes on for the last 10 minutes for 1 point, you'll be like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. But if you bring in a definite player like a Son, right? A 90-minute man like that, and Mahrez outscores him, at least you're not going into the game week like, oh, well, I should have risked Mahrez, but at least I've got Son, right? I think you'll kick yourself. Hey, Kifian. Thoughts on Fernandes to Son? Yeah, we covered this already, but it's fine to cover it again for you, Kifian. Yes, it's what I'm looking at. Fernandes to Son, and then Iniacho to either Antonio, not feeling Bamford, Ings, Antonio, Ings, Richarlison. The triple Everton scares me, guys. I've had triple Everton before. One of my great friends is an Everton fan. He would probably also tell me not to go triple Everton. But there's just something exciting in having the attacking players. There's just something exciting about having the attacking players from the same team. So when I watched the Everton game against Sheffield United, and I've got both of their strikers, it's like, ooh, yeah, I can enjoy this. Same with getting Lingard and Antonio. If I'm watching West Ham, or why people like it, enjoying owning Son and Kane, right? If you're watching Spurs and you own Kane and Son, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna hopefully enjoy this game. We have Kane, Salah, Son, Luka Dean, Trent, Antonio. So you won't lose out anyway. True, but honestly, I always say follow your gut, man. Denver, if you think Mahrez is the one for you, I've taken punts on Mahrez and they've paid off tremendously. I've taken punts on Mahrez and he's not got onto the pitch. If you've got a bench, take the risk. If you've got 10 players and you're bringing in Mahrez, I personally wouldn't. Mahrez section ruined all your, same as me, Ali. I covered it already. Been talking about it. Hate it. Cody to Luka Dean. Thoughts, please. Love it. Love it. You've got Sheffield and Wolves the next two. But the thing with Luka Dean, I've got Godfrey because it's cheaper, right? And what a ball. I still think about that assist, guys. That assist from a left centre-back or a left-sided defender through to Calvert-Lewin was absolutely sublime. The thing with Luka Dean is 9 assists is good. He's in a good run of form. Everton are looking defensively better. But they're at home. And at Goodison Park this season, they've been awful. Everton at home this season have been one of the worst leagues, one of the worst teams in the league. Big gut feeling, go for it, mate. Go for it. I do love the Mahrez shout. I completely love the Mahrez shout. 100%. Phenomenal player, but a player that has played 60-0, 78-0, 89-0-0. I think he plays. But then here's my other question for you. Does he play against Brighton? Does he play against Everton? We have got such a limited number of transfers to make now that I'm looking at bringing in the likes of Antonio. Yeah, it's dangerous with injury, but no one here can say Antonio is not nailed. He is West Ham striker. If I go ahead and I bring in Danny Ings, he is Southampton's number one striker. If I go and bring in Kane or Son, they are the number one striker for those, or players for those football clubs, right? Bringing in a player like Mahrez, he comes in this week, fantastic. That's wonderful. But he probably won't play the next two. And we've only got like 3 transfers left. You've got Richarlison. Does the fella ever smile? Try having Zaha. Oh wait, you do. Are you making a team of moody players? Oh yeah. I forgot what it was like owning Zaha as well, because honestly, guys, everything he does, oh my god. Dude, Etse scores an absolute wonderful goal, skins all the team, puts in the bottom corner, and Zaha moans because he didn't pass him the ball. I'm like, this young lad has just scored a lovely goal, finished it well, but because he didn't pass me the ball. How bad is Cresswell? Wait for the... I'm not going to bring in a player that I went off. I wouldn't risk it. I'd just go Kufal, if I'm honest. I don't know if it's serious as well. I'm going to wait for my press conferences before I do the transfers, guys, because I've already told you what I'm thinking. It's going to be Mane or Son that comes in for Fernandes. I don't think there's any other midfielder for the because remember, this isn't just for game week 36. This is for the rest of the season, right? Son, if I have Son for the rest of the season, I'm quite happy. Wolves, Villa, Leicester, All right, we're done. If I have Mane for the rest of the season, he plays. Happy, done. Don't need to think about another transfer. Or in the actual Vardy out, and I've got Ings, I've got Antonio. They're the ones that are pulling my head, tilting me at the minute. And then you've got Kane and Son is my only quandary. So I can maybe go, okay, Vardy to Kane for that coverage, and then go for the Mane punt. Or just punt on both. Or get Kane and a punt. So that's my thing at the minute. Don't go 2 punts, so Mane and Antonio, or Ings and Antonio, or do I go for 1 safety, which is Kane or Son, plus one of those punt ones, or do I go double safe and just go Kane and Son? That's what I'm gonna think about. I think the captaincy is gonna stay on Mo Salah. Or again, I might just say, caution to the wind. Let's do it. Let's go for something nuts. Calvert-Lewin as my vice, and go Trent as captain, something like that. Because Trent was phenomenal, and he's in a real good run of form. He goes away if he comes away with a clean sheet and an assist, he'll probably get 3 bonus points, and I've got a good week for captaincy. And I can still be happy for Salah because he's 38.3% owned. Well, that's anyway, guys. I'll post my final team after I hear about all the press conferences, see what maybe Klopp says about Mane. Maybe even go for a punt on Firmino. I mean, he's gone and got a couple of goals there at Manchester United, but the players I'm looking at is Mane and Son in midfield, and then up front I'm looking at Antonio, I'm looking at Ings, and I'm looking at Richarlison. Probably in that order. So I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. Hopefully, if you want to put your captain shouts in there, Mane should start, but who drops out? It's not about dropping out, Matt. It's about what he's just done in front of Klopp and to the club by brushing him off at the end of a very famous, very important win at Old Trafford. And who drops out? Could be Salah. Could be Jota. Could be Firmino. Could be none of them. We've seen all 4 of them start against Newcastle. Who knows? Alright guys, take it easy. I'll post on Twitter my final confirmed team. That's my Twitter, I think, just in case people want to follow that, where I'll post like my finished, this is it. You think he might play all from... Yeah, he could, and that's it. So let's wait for the press conferences before you hit those transfer buttons. And remember, you've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. You've got about 5 hours left, guys. So eyes on the ball. Listen to those press conferences. And good luck for the game week, guys. Take it easy and have a good one. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.